You have been sold a lie about Stoicism. The lie says, endure, grind, bear the weight, never bend, never break, never, God forbid, quit. Social media feeds you quotes from Marcus Aurelius about enduring hardship. Hustle culture wraps itself in Stoic armor to justify burnout. And you sit there, chained to a job you hate, a relationship that drains you, a life that feels like slow suffocation, telling yourself that staying is strength. But Seneca, the richest and most powerful Stoic who ever lived, did something that would get him canceled today. He walked away from everything. At the height of his power, advisor to the most dangerous emperor in Rome, controlling the known world from his desk, Seneca looked at his life and asked a question that should terrify you. If this success requires my soul, is it success at all? He resigned. He retreated. He abandoned the arena. And in that act of quitting, he became more powerful than he ever was while winning. Today, we are not discussing how to endure. We are discussing the forgotten half of Stoicism, the sacred art of knowing when to leave. Let us dismantle the first lie, that Stoicism means endless endurance. The popular image of the Stoic is a soldier with a broken shield, standing firm as arrows fly. It is a beautiful image. It is also incomplete. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not to teach himself how to suffer, but how to discern. He constantly asked, does this belong to me? Is this within my control? Or am I carrying something that was never mine to carry? Epictetus, the slave-born philosopher, taught that the first task of wisdom is distinguishing what is yours from what is not. And Seneca? Seneca wrote entire letters about the wisdom of retreat. In letter 68, he tells his friend, I do not advise you to retire and hide yourself, but I do advise you to retire from the things that pull you apart, that leave no room for virtue, that exhaust the mind without feeding it. The Stoics were not endurance machines. They were discernment machines. And discernment sometimes says, this path leads nowhere. Turn around. You have been trained to see quitting as failure. But what if staying, when staying destroys you, is the greater failure? Seneca identified 3 things a wise person must be willing to abandon. Not because they are weak, but because these things are not theirs to carry. Seneca wrote to Lucilius, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving. The process is mutual, for men learn as they teach. Notice what he does not say. He does not say, save everyone who reaches for you. He does not say, spend yourself on those who cannot receive. He says, mutual improvement, exchange, reciprocity. There are people who, every time you leave them, feel lighter. Not because they are bad people, but because your dynamic is a one-way drain. You pour, they empty. You advise, they ignore. You give, they take. Epictetus was blunt. If you want to be well off, do not seek to have everything, but learn to want nothing from those who have nothing to give. The Stoic does not hate these people. The Stoic simply leaves the room, not in anger, in discernment. Seneca, in his essay on the shortness of life, delivers the most devastating critique of busyness ever written. They are not busy. They are merely busy being busy. Their life is not short. They make it short. They squander it as if it were infinite, when in fact they are spending something that can never be returned. He watched Roman elites exhaust themselves climbing ladders that led nowhere. He watched them trade their days for status, their nights for anxiety, their health for approval. And then he quit. He didn't quit because he was tired. He quit because he realized the game was not designed for him to win. It was designed for him to keep playing. Your job? Your career? Your hustle? Ask yourself, does this feed me, or does it feed on me? If the answer is the second, Stoicism gives you permission to leave. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." But he also wrote something more radical. Not every battle requires your presence. There are fights that are not yours, arguments designed to trap you, conflicts engineered to drain you, causes that will consume you and leave nothing behind. The Stoic asks, is this my fight, or am I being recruited? Most of your stress comes not from your own problems, but from volunteering for other people's wars. Seneca's withdrawal was not cowardice. It was strategy. He refused to fight battles that could not be won, for causes that were not his, under a ruler who would destroy him regardless. Sometimes the strongest move is to let the battle happen without you. Leaving is an art. Most people leave badly, burning bridges, slamming doors, carrying resentment like luggage. The Stoic leaves differently. The Stoic leaves well. Seneca makes a crucial distinction in Letter 22. We must see to it that we retreat, not because we are tired of life, but because we have found a better way to live it. Quitting is reactive. Redirecting is intentional. Quitting says, I can't. Redirecting says, I choose not to. Quitting is driven by fear. Redirecting is driven by discernment. When Seneca left Nero's court, he did not slink away in shame. He asked permission, gave thanks for the years of service, and walked into a life of writing, philosophy, and genuine peace. He did not burn the bridge. He simply stopped crossing it. Epictetus taught, when you leave something, leave it completely. Do not look back and wish you had stayed. Do not carry it with you in your mind. The worst way to leave is to leave physically while staying mentally. You quit the job but obsess over it at night. You leave the relationship but replay every conversation. You walk away but carry the weight. The Stoic leaves once. They close the door and do not check if it is still open. Seneca wrote, the wise man does not leave his house by jumping out the window. He walks out through the door calmly and does not look back. When you leave, you do not leave empty-handed. You carry what matters, your character. The only thing the Stoics believed you truly own, your values. The internal compass that guided you out, your peace. The thing you left to find. Seneca took nothing from Nero's palace except his books and his mind. And he discovered that those were enough. The question is not, what am I losing by leaving? The question is, what am I keeping by staying? Here's the final truth, and it is the one they never teach you. The door is not defeat. It is discernment. Staying when you should stay is wisdom. Leaving when you should leave is also wisdom. Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. But he also said, if it is not yours, do not keep it. Your time is not yours to waste on people who cannot receive it. Your energy is not yours to pour into work that despises you. Your peace is not yours to sacrifice for battles you never chose. Seneca understood this. He spent his final years not in power, but in presence, writing, thinking, walking in his garden, being fully alive because he had finally stopped doing things that made him feel dead. You came to this video carrying something heavy, a job, a person, a role, an expectation. You have been told your whole life that staying is strength. But Seneca, from 2,000 years ago, whispers something different. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Wasting your life is not just scrolling on your phone. It is staying in rooms that shrink you, It is smiling at people who drain you. It is climbing ladders leaning against the wrong wall. The Stoic does not endure endlessly. The Stoic endures what matters and releases what does not. So here is your permission. Not from me, from Seneca, from Marcus Aurelius, from Epictetus. You may leave the job, you may leave the relationship, you may leave the city, you may leave the expectation, not in anger, not in resentment, not in failure, in discernment. The door is open. What are you still holding? Seneca's last words to Nero were not a plea. They were a quiet observation. I have lived long enough. I have had enough of life. Now I want nothing but peace. He did not get peace from Nero. He got a death sentence. But he walked toward it the same way he walked away from power. With dignity, with clarity, with no looking back. You are not Seneca. You are not facing an emperor's blade. You are facing a boss who doesn't see you, a partner who doesn't hear you, a life that doesn't feel like yours. And you have the same choice he had. Stay and be destroyed, or leave and be free. The Stoics gave you the tools. The door is in front of you. Walk through it. What is one thing you know you should leave, but haven't? Comment below. Sometimes saying it out loud is the first step. Subscribe for more films that translate ancient wisdom into the courage to live differently. Like this video if it gave you permission to choose yourself.